Hi, my name is Andy Maurer, and last time we talked about things like anxiety and depression and this idea of the window of tolerance. Before we move on and we actually talk about how to cultivate a home of peace in the midst of chaos, we really need to be dealing with the chaos that's inside of ourselves, because if we don't deal with that, it's very difficult to show up in our home in the ways that we want to. So let me give you 4 really practical steps on how to do this. I use the acronym FLOW, which means that we have to be flexible, we have to have an internal locus of control, we have to be able to observe ourselves, and the last one, we need to cultivate a sense of wonder. Let me start with F, which is have a sense of flexibility. What I mean by this is that some of you learned how to survive by being rigid and controlling in your life. Now some of you, your world was so chaotic that the only way you knew how to survive was to be able to be adaptive in chaotic situations. Those are 2 different spectrums, and what you might actually need right now is to move on that spectrum in the opposite direction than you're comfortable with. So if you're really rigid and you're a perfectionist, you might actually need to give yourself grace and patience in the midst of messing up. You might actually need to lay on the couch and take a 10-minute nap or give yourself the break to not get it right. You might actually need to reach out and ask for help. Now if you're on the side of chaos, you might actually need to slow things down inside. Close your eyes, take a breath, and ask yourself, how do I create some structure in my day? Because I'm so used to managing multiple things, but is that what's best for me in this season of crisis? So once again, know where you are on the spectrum and lean just a little bit to move in that opposite direction if that's what you feel like you need in life. The second thing is the L, and that's a sense of locus of control. You can have an external locus of control, which is the chaos of the world. It dictates my feelings, my thoughts, and my behaviors. But having an internal locus of control is having a sense of empowerment where you actually feel like what you believe and what you think and what you feel can change the world around you. That is extremely grounding. And in order to do that, you have to tap into the feeling of anger. Now I know that that's scary for a lot of you because you've either had someone who is very angry in your life that really hurts you, or you have a sense of anger that you felt shame about. But anger is an extremely powerful emotion, and anger is a response to injustice. It says, something's not working, something's not right, it shouldn't be this way. And it causes you to jump in and to act. And so feel that sense of anger, and also in addition to that, notice your feet flat on the ground. Notice your spine get firm. Feel a sense of power in your body. Because in order to create change in your world from an internal locus of control, you have to have a sense of empowerment and belief that you have what you need in order to change what's not working in your world. The third thing is that you need to observe yourself, which means you need to literally take a step back during the day and ask yourself questions like, what am I noticing going on inside of myself? What am I feeling? What are the physical sensations going on in my body? What are the beliefs and the narratives that I'm believing in today? So what I like to do is I like to literally grab a chair. I sit in a separate chair across from myself, and I look at the chair that I was in, and I ask myself, what do I notice about this guy over here? Is he sad? Is he afraid? Is he calm? What are his beliefs about his family, about his capabilities today? And when we step back and we observe ourselves, we can actually love ourselves, we can have compassion on ourselves, be curious. But if we don't step back and observe, we typically fall into criticism and complaining and critique. The last thing is that we need to have a sense of wonder. Kids are fantastic at this. They get fully zoned in, and they have creativity, they have a curiosity about their world and what's going on inside of them and outside of them. And we can cultivate this too. What I want you to do is tap into your 5 senses, a sense of taste, touch, sight, sound, and smell. So if you're sitting outside on your back patio, I want you to notice each one of these sensations, each one of these senses for 60 seconds straight. So let me give you an example with touch. So if you're sitting on your back patio, I want you to close out what you hear, close out what you see, close out what you smell or taste, and just focus on the physical sensation of touch. Notice how the sun feels on your skin. Notice how the wind touches you, or your clothes fit on your body, or how your child feels as they sit in your lap. I want you to notice that one physical sensation and explore that for 60 seconds. The next one might be a sense of sight. You might look out and see a tree blowing in the wind. And you might observe each intricate leaf on the tree and how it's shaped and its texture and its unique color. Do that for 60 seconds. And when we do that with each one of our senses, it literally calms our body and it gives us gives us a sense of grounding and peace. In order to make it through both stress and anxiety and depression, we need to feel a sense of grounding. And if we're going to impact our family in a peaceful and safe way, we first need to be grounded.